One of the things we wanted to talk about today was the idea of security as job zero for AWS. That ties into what we do at Caylent, and like Zach, we're going to talk a little bit about how the engineering team engineers security into what we do for our customers.
We focus generally on the engineering side on automation. We like to have our security controls done via code, and things like the AWS conformance packs really help with that because they're pre-built controls that we can use to do kind of standard things like PCI compliance.
Yeah, it's really nice because you have a situation where our customers now aren't having to build something for themselves and reinvent the wheel. They're able to take advantage of what AWS has built. That solves for the technical challenges. That aligns towards the technical requirements of what has to happen in the AWS environment. Like when you get to policies and procedures, do you find that some of our startup customers are like they have what they need on the governance side of the house in addition to the technical, or are they mostly focused on what you were talking about in terms of technical controls?
I think generally they could really use help when it comes to the writing of policy and documenting of those policies as well, so that they actually match the technical deployments that we're doing.
Right, that makes sense. One of the things that we've done, we found that to be the case. You've got startups that are focused on the product, or you've got young companies that are focused on product development, and they may not be as focused on HIPAA compliance, for example, knowing the ins and outs of the policies that they need, not just within AWS, but also their personnel policies and user computing policies. And so one of the things that we've been developing at Caylent is a starter pack for our policies and procedures for different common frameworks like HIPAA, like PCI, and those types of capabilities, so that we can marry the technical implementation along with the policies and procedures that are needed to talk to an auditor to speak to the entire company's compliance against a standard.
So with customers that are newer to compliance and maybe need some help, writing policies or need discovery done to discover essentially what they already have deployed versus what needs to be done, what can we do to help?
Yeah, even beyond that, some customers are just new to a standard at all. And so there's the CIIQ, there's a consensus assessment and investment questionnaire that allows us to map to multiple standards. So if you don't know what you don't know about conforming to PCI or conforming to HIPAA, these can give customers a leg up on where they're at and understand what the gaps are, understand and prioritize that. So there's going to be a list of things that need to be accomplished for, say, PCI compliance. And it's something that would work with them over a short engagement to prioritize, to make sure that they understand where they are. Now, that's going to show up things that are technical to the AWS environment as well as policies and procedures gaps. But what's interesting is our control tower catalyst, right? It already sort of addresses, it gets ahead of that. It anticipates that a lot of our customers are going to be regulated. What do we do there almost presumptively that we're using for customer compliance as well?
Yeah, well, we deploy the normal standard guardrails that come with the control tower, your SCPs and your config rules and stuff, and we also do custom ones. We can deploy ones from the conformance packs. We can also add in any custom rules that are policies that are directly related to what the customer has written themselves.
Now, the nice thing about that is really quickly getting to baseline compliance, so that you're sure that you're getting what you need for your customers, you're getting what you need for future auditors, and making sure you're doing things and adopting AWS in a secure way.